All right, great. Welcome everyone to the very first session of our Unicorn 2021. It's a rainy morning, as I can see here, but I hope you guys are keeping very warm and really excited for our LinkedIn workshop hosted by our talent advisor, Eileen. Could we welcome her onto the platform, please? Hi, Eileen. Thanks for making some time for us. Sorry. All right, great. So I'm Shah, your host for today, and I will be with Eileen throughout the session. So yeah, Eileen, over to you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Can you all hear me? I got too excited, I guess. Sorry for that. Good morning, everyone. All right. So just to introduce myself, my name is Eileen. Thanks, Shah, for the earlier introduction. So I'm a talent advisor. I actually lead in recruiting some of the functions in Unilever, such as supply chain, Unilever International UI, as we call it, and corporate functions like HR, legal communications, as well as data and analytics. So welcome. This is a great morning, I guess, even though it's earning quite heavily earlier. I was awake I think, from 4 until 6. I couldn't sleep. But I'm having a good day actually, and also knowing that we're going to have this LinkedIn workshop for all of you. And I guess if you're ready, we could start. Okay, so Rohan, if you could just move to the next slide. Okay, so um, we are an advocate, and I myself is quite an advocate of the usage of LinkedIn, not only because I use it for work, but also because I use it as a networking platform, especially for myself. So what are the 3 reasons why you need to actually create a LinkedIn profile? Especially for you students, you may want to also take a note of this. The first is actually this is your online portfolio. So think of it as your online CV or your online resume. And this is going to be your personal branding platform, and it definitely creates visibility to a bigger audience, and most importantly, your visibility to wider organizations like Unilever. Second, it's a networking platform, like what I've said earlier. Do you know that every day per second, at least 2 LinkedIn profiles are actually being created? And there's over at least 30 million companies have profiles on LinkedIn. And last year alone, there are 90 million LinkedIn users that are senior level influencers. And 63 million were actually in the decision making position. So you could just imagine. You can also use this platform to connect with companies, and it is also proven that recruiters and companies use LinkedIn to connect and hire talents. Okay, and last would be it's a platform to leverage. With almost at least 660 million LinkedIn users, you can use this platform to use and leverage any passion project you may have and even connect with like-minded individuals or professionals. You're also going to meet individuals or groups that have the same passion as you. All right, so if you just move to the next slide. Okay, so 7-step ultimate guide to actually creating your LinkedIn profile. So why did we just break it down to just 7 steps? We feel that as a starter or as a young student, especially for you guys, it is actually essential for you to focus on the 7 items that could definitely guarantee a more visible and visible standout page for you. So let's get into it. If you could just go to the next slide, the first step. Okay, so create your header. Definitely a very important LinkedIn hack. So this was actually a newly introduced feature of LinkedIn last year or 2 years back. And why do we believe that you need to create or include this in starting your profile? This will be at the top page when you visit the profile, and it definitely creates a lot of visibility from the viewer's standpoint. And this creates an impression. And as you know, the first impressions last. But of course, we want it to be authentic and truthful. So these are the options that you can use as a header. First could be your purpose. We are including this, as you know, Unilever is a purpose-driven company. But aside from that, at a general standpoint, this will definitely set a tone when someone is actually viewing your page, and what you believe in and what you are passionate about. So this creates a reflective image of you and will definitely pick the interest of your viewer. Second is, of course, if you are still finding your purpose, then that's, of course, totally fine. You can indicate on this section the personal motto that you resonates with the most. If you have a favorite quote from a book or a personal mantra that you use as a guiding point every day, then feel free to use that as a header as well. Last would be any passion project that you have created, or a photo of your school clubs currently, or startup projects that you're currently doing or you're proud to become part of. Feel free to use that as your header as well. All right, so second step or second slide. Okay, so you may want to include your photo. And why do you need to include your photo if this is a professional networking site? LinkedIn is definitely still considered to be a social media platform, of course, with different aim and objective. But having a photo in your page increases your visibility more than 3 times, and that's already proven. There's data that's definitely showing about that. And it shows also that you are a real person and not a troll or a bot, or as what millennials call it now. And of course, it will definitely show, or there is a face behind the profile, and it shows that it is actually a truthful profile. So just key things to note when you're choosing a photo to post. Try to avoid photos that you would instantly post in your Instagram or Facebook, or now I think you have TikTok. As much as you would want to be authentic and true to yourself, of course, you can still achieve that, but having that aim to choose a professional looking one that would still reflect your true personality. Also choose a photo that would help you attain the professional personal branding you want to achieve. It could be taken from a passion project activity that you are doing. Just remember to choose a photo that would definitely show your face and you're not just a mere background. All right, second step. Next slide, Rohan. All right, so step 3, indicate your education certifications you have attained and the year you have completed it. For recruiters such as myself, this will give you an idea that sometimes there is a specific certification requirement or education background knowledge for certain roles. And when recruiters run their search, this will be one of the keywords that we will use. So you may want to embed this in your LinkedIn profile. You can also include any summer exchange program or even licenses that you have completed, because this will definitely add up to creating your profile that is unique to you. All right, step 4. All right, so add your skills. One of the critical steps here that could potentially create a big opportunity for you in increasing your visibility and even with networking. So list down all of your skills. If you're very proficient with Excel or any technologies or tools, please indicate that inside your LinkedIn profile. Again, for specific roles that would require certain skills or technologies, your profile can be included when recruiter run their search or even hiring managers. And as you slowly build your experience and build your capabilities and skills, endorsements and recommendations will definitely come in. And they could come from people you work with or you have professionally interacted with, and this will give you credibility in your circle or in your or in the market per se, and not in the form of certifications, but through personal and professional interactions you have been creating. Okay, so next slide, please. Okay, include your accomplishments, languages, or any advocacy group that you support. So this will give your viewers, it could either be a company or recruiter such as myself, to get to know you more at a deeper level. So good to recall that LinkedIn is your online portfolio or your online CV, and sometimes recruiters will have the specific language requirement for a particular role that they are handling. So this could easily boost your profile to be more visible. Next slide, please. All right, so indicate your work or internship experience. Recruiters run their search again on LinkedIn, and they will use keywords that could easily identify talents in the market that have those specific job experience or skills that they require. And you want to be part of the LinkedIn algorithm, especially when your objective is to apply for a role. So you may want to use keywords that is unique but is widely used in your field. Let's say for finance talents, any finance students out there, or any data science students out there, let's say if you have financial reporting background or audit experience or audit internship experience, or let's say for data science talent, if you want to include words like machine learning, R, or Python, this could definitely increase your visibility to recruiters or companies, and also to all other members of LinkedIn users. Yeah, so next slide, please. All right, so list all interests and follow companies that will also showcase what you're passionate about. You can follow companies or influencers and schools, and with this, you get easily connected to a wider network and be updated of the project that they're into. Or if there's actually job opportunities, you'll be the one that will you'll be the first one to get notified if there's any roles that is open for that. So follow all of those companies as well. All right, I guess next slide, please. Okay, so now we're going to bring you to some quick LinkedIn hacks that would definitely increase also your visibility or enhance your personal branding. First, there is a feature in LinkedIn that you can trigger if you're open to opportunities. On the right side of the screen, that is how it would appear. And for recruiters such as myself, this gives an easy signal that we can connect with you for a work opportunity. So please feel free to turn that on if you're looking for a job. The second is, of course, you can also record how to properly pronounce your name. There will be a voice recorder feature on LinkedIn that allows you to do that. Third, make use of the platform to create your own content. Or share materials or articles that reflect who you really are and what you're passionate about. It does not only increase your network and visibility, but most importantly, it shows your true self or your personal branding. Yeah. Number 4, be active in building your network. If you could just go to the next slide. Yeah. So be active in building your network. If you can see, our CHRO, Lena Nair, she has at least more than 100,000 followers. So just a quick, easy hack as well. This is a very top secret. Not only you get to meet like-minded individuals that shares your passion or interest, but on a recruiter standpoint, when we run our search, if we are viewing your network's profile, it could either be your colleague or your classmate. On the side, LinkedIn will actually either recommend who are part of the circle of this person or will endorse similar profiles, which we use when we are looking for a talent for a specific role. So that's the top secret. So I'm sharing it to you now. So number 5, you can also send a direct message. In LinkedIn, we call it InMail. And I think this is one of the most used tool for recruiters. Even myself, I go to LinkedIn and use this a lot, because we could easily send you a direct message, and let you know if there's an opportunity or a work opportunity or anything that we would want to ask you, and vice versa as well. But just a tip. If you want to connect to a recruiter or to a company, you may want to do some research about the company if it resonates with you before you actually send an email, because this will definitely reflect that you are being genuine with your interest to apply or with your intention. All right, and last but the most important, you may want to use professional sounding words because this is going to be your online CV or your resume. You may want to increase your network from like-minded individuals as well. So please keep this in mind. And if you just go to the next slide. All right, so my favorite, I think, so far, last year, I think early part of this year, LinkedIn has added pronouns to create a more diverse and inclusive platform. So you may want to also include this in your LinkedIn profile and would also reflect on how you would like to be identified. So more on the diversity inclusion part, but please use this new LinkedIn feature. Yeah. So I guess that's all from my side. I'm not too sure if you have any questions.
Thanks, Eileen, for the amazing session. We do actually have a couple of questions from some students. Very excited to see quite a bit of questions considering there's a lot of points when you ask us via the platform itself. So I'm going to start off, Eileen, with the very first question that we have. And it's from Sophia. So Sophia wanted to ask from her personal experience. So she pivoted from IT to marketing. And her LinkedIn profile still includes her past IT experiences. But she still finds that she gets a lot of HR messages about her previous position, an IT position. So her question is, should I remove my IT experience or keep them to show my transferable skills?
Yes, that's a very good question and a very valid one. I think most these candidates that we also see in Unilever, they also have very diverse background. And Sophia, it is a very good question. If from a recruiter standpoint, I will definitely encourage for you to put that inside your profile. It would increase your visibility not only for recruiters that are just looking for IT, but also because it would showcase that you have all of those skills that you have built throughout the time. And it would show how holistic your background is. So if coming from a recruiter's perspective, I will definitely encourage you to include that. It's very common that definitely you will get requests from recruiters that would like to explore you for an IT role, even though you're already pivoting to a new chapter of your life, which is marketing. But you may want to also let them know that now that your interest is into marketing, but you may want to let them know that, please keep me in mind if you have any roles for marketing, because that's already your interest. But let them know that I have this background. I'm very good in technologies. And if there will be some digital marketing roles out there, you can leverage on that because you have some technology capabilities. So you may want to use that as your advantage, actually.
Nice. Very, very good advice. I will take that into consideration also. All right. We have another question from Alicia, which I think is also a personal question I have for you, Eileen. How much information should I include in LinkedIn? Is there such a thing as too much information? And what do you think?
That's a good question. I think there's no such thing as TMI or too much information. Definitely, if you feel that, it really depends on the person. If your personal branding is you would want to be known as someone who has interest, let's say, in traveling and culture and arts, but also in your professional background, you want to be known as, I have experience in, let's say, finance or IT. You can actually include that. And the reason why LinkedIn has actually added all of those features is um, we want the person, or we want individuals to really showcase their true self, and you don't want to be known as, okay, I'm just really focusing and targeting my professional background, and I don't want to be known for, let's say, my side interests, let's say traveling, or if I'm passionate about supporting advocacy groups or charities, supporting charities.
Mm.
It's not about being too much information, but you may want to balance it as well, that there's a professional and personal side. On the personal side, you may want to choose, your side interests, charities that you support, advocacy that you support, or languages. These are going to reflect in your profile. And like what I've said, LinkedIn is like your online CV. And for recruiters, even for Unilever, we just don't focus on the professional experience of the person. We also would want to know the person at a deeper level. Even during interviews, you would know that even hiring managers will ask, like, personally, what do you do on the side if you're not working? So feel free to add all of those other informations. I would definitely encourage you. There's not how should I say it? So TMI is not really a thing, but if you feel that it would showcase and create a more or if it reflect your true self, then feel free to add those.
Nice. And maybe if I could just add in, yeah, I think the fun part about LinkedIn is also being able to share posts on issues that you are very invested or interested in. And I think to some perhaps it could be a bit of a TMI, but at least for myself as a campus recruiter, I see that as your ability to showcase what are some of your passion, what some of the issues that you're very invested and interested in. And, I get to know a lot more about you rather than just your work experiences. So yeah, I think, Eileen, I do agree with you. Okay, so we do have a question from Cindy. And she'd like to ask, how do you reach out to recruiters on LinkedIn?
So the email that I mentioned earlier, you can use that. In fact, I myself is now receiving a lot of emails. I think maybe some of you are in this call. As we speak, I'm looking at my mobile phone. So yeah, so you can actually send a direct message. In LinkedIn, you call it in mail, and you can use that tool to even introduce yourself. Like for myself, I'm quite passionate about diversity and inclusion, and sometimes I want to connect with people that are outside of my network. And I will just send them an email introducing myself, and I will definitely get a response immediately right after that. So feel free to use that as well. Don't be shy.
Yes, don't be shy, definitely. I'm sure many of them will be connecting with us soon. Can't wait to connect with you guys on LinkedIn. Right. We do have a question from Nicole. And a very interesting question. Hi, Eileen. Thank you for all the tips. Would you recommend we use LinkedIn Premium? Would that give me more opportunities to be recognized or seen by recruiters much like yourself? Mm.
Yeah, so that's a very good question. LinkedIn Premium was built in by the company, I think, couple of years back. more from the candidate side and not really from the recruiter side. So if you're going to ask me, and you're on the candidate perspective or lens, I would definitely recommend for you to get into that. Although I think there is an additional charge for it, but you can leverage on that because you will see some analytics behind it. So if you're applying for a company, let's say for Unilever, you would know where you stand, like what is your percentage in all of those applications that have submitted to Unilever. So let's say I'm at the 10% at the top when I submit my application. So easily, oh, this is my standing, and I could probably improve on some of the points or areas that I'm lacking, but at least I know where I stand. So on the candidate lens, I will definitely encourage you to use that. For recruiter side, we don't really use it because we use another tool, which is the LinkedIn Recruiter, and this would give us a wider visibility of the talents in the market. But if you're a student or if you're looking for a job, I would encourage you to use that. Yeah, very, very good tool actually.
Nice. Amazing. Okay, we do have a question. We have many questions actually coming up. Eileen, I hope you're prepared. So we have a question from, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Vignesh Varan. Okay. If I am learning a skill, which also I am learning a skill, but don't have the cert yet, should I include it into my LinkedIn profile? What do you think?
If you're in the process of getting it and you still haven't been certified, you can, but you may want to be truthful as well in terms of your the information that you're putting out there. So you may want to put ongoing or in process, and that would automatically show to recruiters or even to your LinkedIn networks that you're still in the process of achieving or accomplishing it. But yeah, it's a good question, and you can definitely already include that in your LinkedIn profile.
Nice. I will start including them then. Thank you. All right, great. We do have a question from, I think we have a follow-up question from Vignesh Varan also. Is there a best way to reach out to recruiters? Because, at the end of the day, I'm sure students don't want to feel like they are bothering these recruiters. So what is your advice in terms of reaching out to recruiters?
I think this is the most frequently asked question for recruiters. Two advice that I could give, if you're really passionate about the company that you're applying, if you feel that their purpose is resonating with you the most and you are really interested to apply, I would encourage for you to submit or create your profile on the website of the company. This would include, creating your resume, registering to the company's website, because generally what you're doing is you're already creating a profile for yourself, and this will be already part of the database of the company. So don't get disheartened if, let's say, you're not being noticed by the company. Maybe it's not your season, it's not the right time for you, but the fact that you have already been part of the database of the company, and in future they have similar or they have roles that will be relevant to your skills and experience, they could easily like run their search and you will already be part of their database. Second is you can also reach out to the recruiters, but I would encourage to do this as your second option. If you really have a strong desire to, like, let me just reach out to this recruiter because I feel that I'm not being noticed, please feel free to reach out to them, but also know that there is a process for all of the companies. So each companies has their own process. So don't get disheartened. If you feel that you want to just introduce yourself and be noticed by the recruiter, then just send a hi or send them an email. But I would encourage for you to start registering or create your profile in the company's website, because automatically the database will include your profile, and when they run their search in all of the roles that they will open, your resume is already there, so you already have a high chance of being noticed.
Nice. I agree. I have received a couple of messages actually from students who've applied through our internship programs, or graduate programs. And yeah, and I welcome those. So, don't feel disheartened if there are recruiters who, may not reply you. Yeah, same as Eileen, we would encourage you to do so. Yeah. Right. Okay. We have a question from Julia. It's more in relation of school projects, yeah. So her question is, would you recommend to put, say, school projects under our education background, or should we include that under our profiles as skills?
I would recommend to put it as a skills, not really on the education background. Or actually, you can put that as an experience. If you feel that that school project took 1 month for you to complete and you have achieved certain milestones for that specific project, you may want to actually include that as your experience, and it would show like what are the accountability or the responsibilities that you have done throughout that entire project, and it would also create a more holistic view of your profile. So I wouldn't really recommending putting it in the education background, but more on the experience feature of LinkedIn. If it's an internship background or experience, then you may also want to put that inside the experience feature.
Nice. I hope that answers the question. We do have a question from Xue Hui, which is, I guess, an extension of the previous question about is it too much information on my LinkedIn profile? So she's asking about how detailed should the LinkedIn profile summary be? So it's I guess it's the first thing that you see on your profile, yeah? Is it the more information, the better? Yeah.
Thanks, Sha. I from personally from a recruiter side, or I think Sha will also agree to this. It doesn't necessarily mean that more information is better. I would probably advise or recommend, if you can, to just be more targeted in terms of your profile. So if you want to use it as a networking platform, then probably you can include all of the information that you want, including personal. But if you want to use it as a personal branding platform and leaning towards the professional side, then you want the profile summary to be more targeted, and the summary will be including the skills, your agenda or your purpose, and what you're trying to achieve. So I think the more targeted your profile summary is, the better, not necessarily more information actually.
Yeah, and Eileen, if I may add, I agree actually, because that's actually the first thing, if I was a recruiter going to your profile, that's the first thing that we see. And I think to have it very targeted, very sharp, very specific to perhaps your interests, your agenda, who you are as a person, would generally help us get to know you a lot better and faster in a way. So yeah, I would say something short and sweet would be amazing for us. At the end of the day, I would see it as the principle is kind of like a cover letter. Your cover letter shouldn't exactly be like 5 pages long. It should ideally be something that's simple, short, and sweet for recruiters to read through. So yeah, very good question. Okay.
Yes, that's right. And if you've heard of the elevator pitch, if let's say you're inside the elevator with the CEO and you only have like 10 seconds to introduce yourself. Yeah, so use that as a guiding point for you when you create your profile summary, like how you would like to be known or how you would like to introduce yourself in, let's say, 5 seconds or 10 seconds.
Very, very good advice, Eileen. Nice. All right. I wanted to ask you more about the cover photo, yeah. And I think earlier you used the example of Lina, who uploaded a cover photo of her purpose. So we have a question from Eshwar, regarding cover photo for LinkedIn profile. Do I add one that is relevant to the industry that I'm looking to join, or something that reflects a lot more in terms of my course of specialization?
That's a very
Yeah.
good question. Um, Cover photo for industry or cover photo for the career that you're trying to
Correct.
reflects your course specialization. I would say neither of those. I would say just a photo of yourself reflecting the true personality. I think that would reflect more. For for a cover photo, wow, this is a very good question and a tough one. Um, we For recruiter standpoint, if you're going to ask all of us in Unilever, I don't think you would see someone that is like wearing something that, let's say, an R&D engineer in Unilever. I don't think they would use their R&D hat or their jacket just to reflect who they are, but they're showing their true personality by a photo that probably they got from an event that they attended, but it doesn't necessarily that they're wearing all of those. Um, so I think I would say you may want to choose a photo that would just show, the authentic self that you would want to use as a personal branding, not necessarily be, the course that you're trying to reflect or the industry, but the more genuine your LinkedIn profile is, the better. You can use the other features of LinkedIn to leverage on if you would want to be targeted in your approach. But for the photo, I would recommend someone that's just being yourself. I think I'm not sure, Sha, if you would agree on this one. It's a tough question, but thank you for that.
No, 100% agree. I think LinkedIn as a tool in itself, showcasing your authentic self is something that I genuinely value in the line of work that we do. Considering there's a lot of things where you could easily put behind, like online, behind the screens. But as recruiters, I think besides just what your competencies are, your skills are, who you are as a person matters also to us, right? So yeah, I 100% agree with you, Eileen. I wouldn't necessarily say, upload a course or upload a statement in terms of the industry that you want to join, but just as much as what Alina has on her profile, something that she's very passionate about, that has fueled her passion in Unilever, her work in Unilever, encapsulate that, and I hope that you could come up with a cover photo that you'll be really happy with. So yeah, all the best. um I have a good question from Elson. um Given that you are exposed to many students, or for Eileen yourself, you're exposed to a lot of experienced professionals LinkedIn profile, and time is very limited for you. I know that because you're really busy. What are the first few elements in a LinkedIn profile you will observe first that will immediately capture your attention? And let's do that. Unfortunately, with the time that we have, I think that could be our last question. So yeah, Eileen, over to you.
Yes, that's a very good question, Elson. Thanks, Sha. Yeah, definitely. When we look into the profiles, we don't really have a lot of time, and we usually browse profiles like easily. And for all the recruiters, if you have the experience, um, even your internship experience, you can actually include that in. That would give you a more visible profile because generally for a recruiter, once we use LinkedIn platform, we have an agenda. We have a certain aim or objective. That's why we're on LinkedIn, and usually that is to find a talent. And where we usually look into, it doesn't necessarily to be your cover photo, but if you have experience, you may want to leverage on that, like even internship experience or any background or skills you may have. Let's say you have machine learning experience, Tableau, or any dashboards experience. Usually we look into the experience, the skills. Even education will also be part of it. And sometimes profile summary could be part of it as well, especially when your profile summary is targeted. Let's say I'm trying to achieve this, or I'm aiming to be part of a company where my marketing skills will be enhanced. Then I know that, oh, this person is definitely looking for a marketing role. And that could easily give me a signal that, oh, this is a marketing talent, and I could connect with this person. So try to leverage on all of those profile summary, experience, skills, or even licenses if you have. Yeah,
Nice.
but
And
that's a
and
good
I
question.
agree. I agree. I think make it very sharp would genuinely help a recruiter who already possibly has a talent in mind, or a role that they need to fill. So yeah, 100% agree with you, Eileen. So we're down to just 3 minutes. I'm not sure if you could include a last question, but let's just try. And then we'll wrap this session up. Should the work experience be the same as what I put in my resume? Or should I word it differently, or should I include something else? So do I just copy paste my resume?
No. Yeah, but that's a very good question. Who sent that in? Vincent? Yeah, that's a
It's
very good question, Vincent, and thanks for that. Yes, you can include the work experience, but I would suggest summarize it. You may want to just include the accomplishments. Let's say in one internship, you have accomplished like 100% data accuracy of this particular system. Then you may want to just put that instead of putting in like 100 bulleted points in your profile. Then that's not going to be quite targeted. So I would suggest, yes, please include, but try to summarize it, be more targeted in terms of including the accomplishments you have done in your previous experience or in your previous internships.
nice. And that's it. That wraps up the Q&A segment. I think we answered quite a lot of questions, and thank
I
you.
saw one additional question, but
Yeah,
I don't think we have time.
I really don't think we have time, but what we can possibly do is, some of the great questions that we've had, we'll try and capture that on our Instagram story. So head over to our Instagrams, and we'll see you there. We'll be answering some of the questions. So yeah, thank you so much, Eileen, for spending some time with us. And the students, I hope the session has been beneficial for you. Maybe Eileen, last few words from your side.
Thank you so much. This is a very exciting session, actually. And thank you for all of the very good questions. Very tough one, actually. But I really appreciate all of the questions. And if you have any additional ones, maybe you can just connect to any of the organizing team. And also, I would encourage for you to send in your applications, please. Unilever is a very purpose-driven company. And if it resonates with you as well, the purpose that you have, please feel free to send in your applications. And Shai is our campus advisor. She's a very good one. If you have questions, feel free to connect with her as well. And thank you,
Nice.
Sha.
Thank you, Eileen. And for the rest of you in the audience, head over to our brand booths to explore some of the exciting, purposeful brands that we have. We'll also have a Unilever employee that will be online during lunchtime just to answer some of your hot questions that you have about us. And yes, explore the platform, gain some points, and perhaps you could win yourself an ErgoTune chair. Yep, that's it. I'll see you guys in 15 minutes for the next session. Take care. Bye.